Welcome to the Redemption Podcast with your hosts, Staci
and Julia. Welcome to episode 7 of Redemption. I'm your host, Julia, and today our guest is also our co-host, Staci.
Yay. Good morning.
Good morning, Staci.
Thank you for having me, Julia.
Pleasure to have you. Happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this today.
Yeah, so today's topic is we're going to be talking about Staci because she is on fire lately. She's got a lot going on, and so I'm very excited to dive in because we never have time to talk, ever. We never get together anymore because you're off doing your own thing. I'm doing my Redemption fashion clothing line stuff, so this
we're getting a lot done.
We're getting, yeah, we're crushing it.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to catch up with you. But before we get started, Isaac, do you have any housekeeping?
So I've been told to let everyone know that there is a barefoot walkie thing on the 21st and 22nd of May that is to raise awareness for human trafficking. That's at the fairgrounds, correct?
Yes, it's at the fairground. It's the Joy of Freedom Family Festival. They're going to have some live music there, some food trucks. There will be quite a bit of people there with tents to give you awareness information about trafficking or about what resources we have here in the Valley. And it's going to be a really fun day.
And we're going to be there.
Yes, we're going to be
have
there.
A booth.
We will have a booth. Come look us up.
And then it's also Motorcycle Awareness Month this month. I definitely can tell that it's Motorcycle Awareness Month because there are motorcycles everywhere now, and they're always sneaking up in my blind spots. I'm trying, I'm looking, I'm doing my part. I'm doing my part to not hit a motorcycle. So everyone else, do your part. Don't hit motorcycles. Bad.
Yes.
My mom literally did not have time for me on Mother's Day because she was taking a motorcycle certification course.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which is like, go mom.
Yeah, go
vroom,
mom.
vroom. But
I was talking about hockey during Mother's Day night. So I saw my mom for like an hour in the morning and had breakfast. I mean, that was a thing. Yeah.
That counts.
That does count.
So relatable. On the podcast side of things, so we just released part 2 of the 2-part My Voice series that we were doing with one of our staff members. So if you listened to part 1 and you haven't listened to part 2, go listen to part 2. And if you haven't listened to either of them, what are you doing? Go listen to both of them. They're great. That was really, I thought that was really good. I was really happy with both those episodes. I think they are really powerful. Also, part 1 and part 2 of this podcast, if you didn't listen to the last 2 episodes of Redemption and you're listening to this one, also, what are you doing? Because we had Alicia on, and those were also just
That was a pretty profound conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. I kind of wish we had kept recording after, too, because I feel like we talked off air for like 45 minutes just about even more stuff. So I'd love to have her back on to kind of talk more about what she's doing now with, the camps and stuff she works at. But
yes.
Also, Diagnonsense, this Wednesday came out. We were talking with Jay from Outreach. That was really cool. And then the very next podcast episode that drops on this network will be an episode of the My House podcast. And I have been looking forward to this episode for about 2 months now because we've had to reschedule the recording of it twice. But it is definitely the biggest guest that we've had.
I don't even know.
Ever. So
that's exciting.
Yeah, be on the lookout for that. Make sure you're tuning in Wednesday. I believe, if I'm correct, it's Wednesday the 25th that episode is coming out. So sorry, Staci, you're small potatoes compared to our next guest. But you're still big potatoes in the...
We're happy to have you.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for making time.
We're making money moves over here at the My House Podcast Network.
Yeah, okay.
Let's get into it.
So, Staci, I've missed you.
I've missed you too, Julia.
What the heck have you been up to? Well, first of all, let me just refresh our audience of, what your role is here at My House. You are the director of human trafficking, or the
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's recovery. So people will say that. They'll say, "What's your title?" And I say, if I don't say recovery, it sounds really weird. I'm the director of human trafficking. That sounds really stuff. But it's really, I'm the director of human trafficking recovery services. So
Gotcha.
yes,
Okay. And so at the facility here, or, in this capacity, that means, we have since January, since the beginning of the year, we acquired a safe house.
yes,
And so that's, huge.
right. It is. Yes.
And what's the, update about that?
Well, let me tell you, I get this question a lot, and they'll say, "Why do you even need a safe house? Is there really a problem here in the Valley?" And so I tell them some of the numbers that my house has. My house has a current client list of 442 clients. Out of those 442 clients, 30 have reported being trafficked here in the Valley. They take my sex trafficking survey when they come in with intakes, and 30 of them have reported being trafficked and also trading sex for needs. So, and that's just the ones who come in, and report. Some do not report, especially boys do not report.
Right.
So there is a problem here for sure. We did acquire the safe house, and it's up and running. I am super excited about that piece. What I've learned since opening up the safe house is I think the most important piece of the safe house is mentorship and peer support. I think Michelle hit the nail on the head here at my house when she surrounds all these kids with that peer support, kids who have been there before. And it's so powerful to help them. So here, you take these girls who have been in horrible trafficking situations, right? And a lot of times they don't even have the skills of house cleaning, financing, checkbook, how to even open a bank account.
Cooking.
There's just so many skills that a lot of them are lacking. And so we have a wonderful woman, which I think we've had on here before, Linda, with empowerment.
Yes.
And she is awesome at helping these girls grow emotionally and mentally, but also with skills to help them move on. So they're life skills, right?
Yes.
So
shout out to Linda, our empowerment coach, who we
so
absolutely
huge.
want to have on the podcast.
And she just got that award, the United Way award.
I didn't even talk about that. Maybe that's the biggest piece of housekeeping.
Yeah.
Linda, who was on the My House podcast with Michelle, she would be great to have on here too.
Yeah, I want to have her soon. Yeah,
what she's doing over at the Safe House. But she won Volunteer of the Year with from United Way.
yes.
So Volunteer of the Year, and a lot of that was because of the testimonials of a lot of our clients talking about what Linda has done for them.
Right.
So
Are we
our
celebrating
staff,
that? We're celebrating
everyone.
that today, I think.
Next Monday.
Next
Oh, is it
Monday.
next Monday? That's
Yeah,
right. Okay,
next
it's on my
Monday.
calendar. Next Monday. Yes, I can't wait.
Here at the My House facility.
Yeah. So that was really huge. Linda's a huge piece of this, of my house, and of the work that I've been doing. And so, yes, that mentorship and peer support, perfect, and it's perfectly in place.
Awesome. So, yes, you are the Director of Human Trafficking Recovery Services here at
Yes.
My House, and you are also the co-chair of ASHTA.
Yes.
ASHTA is Alaska Stop Human Trafficking Alliance.
Correct. So ASHTA is a statewide coalition, and we have over 100 members. And what that coalition does, we meet monthly by Zoom, and we actually collaborate on just different ideas and ways that we think that would better serve Alaska. How can we combat human trafficking in our state? And ASHTA has like 4 main focus that we have been focusing on. And so one is curriculum for kids. We need to get human trafficking awareness curriculum K through 12 into our schools. And I have been introduced about a year ago to Speak Up curriculum. And I met the co-creators of this curriculum, and it's awesome. And it's age appropriate. So, in the lower ages, it teaches them internet safety and, stranger danger, that type of thing. But also when to learn when they're being asked questions online or in person that could be possibly grooming. They will learn those. They will learn to go to trusted individuals and tell them.
Right. To see the signs, know that, hey, this is actually maybe not quite right.
Right.
and I need to talk to a trusted adult about this.
Right.
So this is Speak Up curriculum.
Yes, Speak
That's
Up
what it's
curriculum.
called.
Yes, and so I've actually been speaking with the Matsu School Borough, the school board rather, excuse me, and we're going to be looking at maybe getting one of the schools in the Matsu Valley to participate in the national pilot program that Yale University is doing with the Speak Up curriculum. They started this year.
Wow.
They started this year, and they in this one school when they started. At the end, they had 5 fifth graders come forward saying that they were either being sexually abused or trafficked. So it's heartbreaking, but it's very effective. And if we can just get this curriculum in K through 12 and have all these kids, even the high school kids, to recognize when they're at parties, when they're seeing things, when they're online, they can watch out for their friends. They can save themselves, but they can save others. This is where we'll win the war, is teaching these kids how to recognize
And protect
signs
themselves.
and give them tools and resources to protect themselves. So that's one thing that ASTA focuses on. The other thing that ASTA focuses on is state and national law. So there's different things that's going on, like say nationally.
Okay.
Senator Murkowski introduced a bill, and it was Protect Children from Human Trafficking, but it is a bill that actually will mandate human trafficking education nationwide. She's a co-sponsor.
Okay.
And with this bill will be added federal funds to help schools buy curriculum to put out to all the kids for human trafficking. Because human trafficking has been come to the forefront. And nationwide, we're seeing how
National attention.
yes,
wise.
it has national attention and how bad it is. And so I'm really excited about that bill. I'm really hoping that passes. So then we don't have to fight individual school boards. We just get
Right.
really age-appropriate, clean curriculum into the schools.
I'm curious about what your experience has been thus far in reaching out to school boards.
Actually,
Because you got the one.
Yeah, so actually here locally, they were very receptive. I was shocked, but they were very, very receptive. So that made me
That's
happy.
awesome.
I haven't reached out to Anchorage or anywhere. I'm just trying to focus here in the Valley because this is where we operate, right?
Right.
And so far, it's been great. Like, they know this is important. They know this is an issue that's nationwide. They know that the numbers in Alaska are really bad. So I really think I think it's going to be easy to work with, but I'm just really excited to protect kids. That's all I want to do is protect kids.
Yeah, and I just can't imagine that once this curriculum does get put into schools, just like how you were saying that 5 fifth graders, right?
Yeah.
Came out, or they, they came forward that
Yeah.
those things that were happening to them.
Yeah.
I'm a little anxious about what's going to happen when that starts to come out in our schools here.
Right.
And when that is enforced, I think that those numbers are going to start skyrocketing.
Right. The great thing about Speak Up curriculum is I am being trained to train the trainers. So what that means is going into the schools, training all the school staff. So there's a 2-hour training that everyone, the janitor, everyone attends, because everyone needs to have eyes on the kids and be hearing and listening and being able to recognize things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's another training just for the teacher, the health teacher, whoever's going to present the material. They take a pre-test and a post-test, and that will show how much they learned. And it can be a little bit of emotional run, but they are trained in how to answer those questions, and the counselors are trained in how to respond when those come up. So but it's saving lives. It's saving lives, and that's what this is about, right? Also, what we've been working on, what I'm really excited about too, talking about protecting kids, we are partnering with Rotary. We have written a letter to our local internet service providers asking them to provide us an opt-out of porn coming with our internet subscription. And they can use their DNS filter to do this. In the UK, they've been doing this for over a decade. And so I know in Montana, they are working right now trying to pass HB 492, which is the same bill, which is wanting to give their people in Montana an opt-out of porn coming into their homes. Because we know how easy it is for kids just to stumble upon it in YouTube or
beyond.
even Facebook or anywhere, right? And it has been proven that kids can get addicted to porn at young ages. I was exposed to porn at like age 9, and I got addicted to porn at age 9. And then what that does is that sets you up to being easy to be trafficked and highly sexualized, and you're thinking that these things are normal. And so we really need
or even glamorized.
Right, or glamorized. So we really need to protect our kids. I would really, like for me, I spend hundreds of dollars buying equipment to fight porn coming to my home. I have 6 kids, 5 in the house, 4 teens, 1's 10 years old. I'm constantly fighting that battle. So I bought Gryphon, which will help me filter it out, but still they're so smart these days, they can get around it. Mm-hmm. And I just want to protect their little brains, because it's not a normal life. And then trying to unget that out of your brain, it's just really hard. So I want to fight for my kids. I want to fight for your kids. And I want our internet service providers to say, yes, we will stand up. We will protect kids in Alaska. We will be the first in the nation.
Right. Before it's even become a requirement, we want to support this. We want to be, with the mission and forward thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you physically brought some letters to some service providers, local service providers on Monday.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how it rolls.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll keep you informed.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah. I'm like, is there any update?
No update yet, but it's early in the game. So hopefully we'll open up those talks and begin to see what that might look like. So hopefully soon. Also, what ASHTA also focus on is I'm excited about, we all know that we need more education for law enforcement, prosecutors, service providers. We all need to be brought on the same page when it comes to the issue of trafficking. Mm. And ASHTA is actually bringing up law enforcement training in October. We have a couple speakers in the lower 48 coming up, and we will be doing a training for the Department of Law, I believe, and also for law enforcement in Anchorage, and then law enforcement out in Wasilla. And so I'm really excited about just bringing more awareness, especially for the cops that are on the road, for the cops who answer the domestic violence calls, who a lot of times these domestic violence and sexual assault calls are trafficking. It's a victim of trafficking. But if they're taught all these things to look for, our numbers are going to grow. And then also public awareness. ASHTA really focuses on public awareness. We partnered with the Alaska Peace Officers Association, the MATSU chapter, last year. And we made posters of human trafficking awareness posters that actually describes on there what trafficking is. Because me as myself, as a survivor, I didn't really know I was a victim. I didn't self-identify, right? But if you put on there things that describe exactly what you're going through and what it is, and then call it trafficking, they go, oh, I didn't know that was trafficking. So then there's numbers on there where they can text help to 233-733 and get live help immediately. So getting awareness out there for victims and for other people, just to be able to watch for their neighbor, their friends' kids, things like that.
Yeah, if they see something that doesn't look quite right, they can ask questions.
Right. And I'm also looking at doing a sticker campaign for putting stickers up in convenience stores, bus stops, cabs, that type of thing, just to grow the awareness, because a lot of people just don't know it's a thing, because it's not like back in the 70s where the prostitutes are on the side of the road advertising. We have internet now, and so it's a hidden crime. You do not see it. They operate out of homes and RVs, and you just don't see it. It's not out there. It's on internet. And so we just need to start looking for it and hopefully helping more victims come out.
Fantastic. And this might be going into the next, Staci is now serving as a member of the Governor's Council of Human and Sex Trafficking, and is also serving on 2 separate subcommittees under that. So speaking of the whole internet situation, I will just let you explain to us what your role is on the member, or as a member of the Governor's Council.
Well, first of all, let me just start. It's a huge honor to be able just to sit on that Council of Human and Sex Trafficking for the governor. I was blown away when I was accepted. And I just
congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's new, guys.
So it's just a passion of mine to I just want to make a difference, right? I want to make a difference in my own kids, in my local community, and then to be able to have a voice to make a difference on a state level. I am just so happy, so thankful. But the People's First Initiative is the governor is addressing 5 major intersecting topics, which are domestic violence and sexual assault, missing and murdered Indigenous persons, human and sex trafficking, foster care, and homelessness. Now, all of these intersect somewhere at one time or one another. And I really am thankful that I think this is the first governor that's really addressed all of these at one time. It's a huge issue here in Alaska. And so I sit on the Human and Sex Trafficking Council.
Okay.
And we have broke our council into 6 committees. And I am co-chairing the Victim Services and Housing Committee, where we will come up with recommendations by September for the governor for the state of what do we need? How can we better serve our people? What do we need better? And so I'm really looking forward to that. Our other subcommittees were education and public awareness, data, labor trafficking, commercial sexual exploitation of children, and offender demand accountability. So we have a lot of work. All these councils are just really focusing on. Also, Michelle, she is chairing the homelessness committee for the governor. And so and then we also have several staff on board who are part of some of the governor's councils. And so we're just going to make a difference. We're just going to use our voices and use the experiences that we have, and let's just make Alaska safer.
Yeah, that was a lot. This People's First Initiative is huge.
Yes.
And there's just so many branches underneath it. And you made, I didn't quite understand how it all really worked. And so now I do. So what I wanted to get back to was the internet and tracking. So I was listening and participating in your last month's ASHTA meeting.
Thank you for that too.
Yeah. And you guys were talking about databases in the internet and where are these, where are the traffickers on the internet? Where is that activity happening where we're not seeing it because our kids you don't know who your kids are talking to on the internet.
Right.
Myself being a person in my early 20s, I have firsthand experience, it's just impossible. You're exposed to it at every level, social media, the whole thing. So I piped up and I was like, yeah, we need to figure out a way to be able to trace back this kind of activity to its sources.
Right.
So
well, law enforcement is doing just that behind the scenes. I mean, they do watch those websites. There's a bunch of sites where quote prostitutes advertise, right, for services. But that's a lot of times trafficking victims being forced, and they just advertise there for them. And so they watch those. But also talking about keeping kids safe, like a lot of these gamings like Minecraft, Roblox, all these games, they have chat capabilities, right? And VR, the VR world now. So they have chat capabilities so anybody can chat with your kid. Right. So that's where they're meeting them, is on those. And that's where, for at least my younger child, I turned chat capabilities off. He only has a few friends he can play with in virtual worlds, and so who I know, on Roblox and stuff, because he did get approached by a predator at 9 years old.
Wow.
On Roblox, chatting to him, saying some pretty nasty things. So if that ever happens to you, by the way, if you or if one of your kids starts getting chats, you need to talk to your kids and say, hey, if you get someone asking for nudes, or if you maybe fall and you give them some pictures, right? And then they come back to you and start threatening you. If you don't give me more pictures, I'm going to tell your parents, I'm going to do this and that. You need to go tell on a trusted adult right away, because that's called sextortion. And if you would give that information to a trusted adult, and then we could give that to our local FBI cybercrimes units, then we could catch a bad guy who's probably is a predator on many, many kids nationwide.
Right. Yeah.
So, let's just keep them safe. Just have those tough talks with your teens and with your young kids, and and let's just keep them safe.
Awesome.
Yeah. So also, the cool thing about the People's First Initiative is that they're going to create a statewide database and management system. And what that's going to do is it's going to help us, it'll give ease of use for authorized providers and grant administrators to spot patterns and identify root causes within homelessness, trafficking, and missing and murdered Indigenous persons. And so this will be really great for our data.
That's what I'm so excited about.
Statewide.
That's what I was trying to get to.
So we can share information statewide. So then our true numbers are really going to come to light here within the next little bit. So that's going to be really great too. And then also, along with that People's First Initiative, the governor, he did do some updates to the criminal statutes. And that's SB 188, SB 189, and SB 187. And those... I haven't got the latest update from the House side. I know the Senate has had several hearings on those, but I'm really hoping that those pass and those pass soon. And I'm really hoping that the House runs through those really quickly and gets those passed. What I'm really excited about the SB 189, I believe, is what will happen is that it will expunge the records of victims of trafficking, because these victims will get criminal records while they're under the influence of their trafficker, whether it be, if they get caught and it's called prostitution, or if it's drug charges or whatever. So we'll be able to expunge their records to help them go on and help them become part of their community and get jobs and homes again. They're a victim. So what it's going to do is protect victims' rights. Also, what I love the governor did is that the Johns, the buyers of sex, will be on their third conviction within 5 years. It becomes a Class C felony. So maybe that will curb the buying of sex in Alaska, which, by the way, is illegal.
Yes. And is that all within SB 189, or is that 187? Can you briefly go over 187 and 188? just so that people know
I'm going to borrow your sheet real quick.
Yeah.
So let's see. Let's see. Hang on. I'm sorry. So SB 189 focuses on the crime of sex and human trafficking. It goes over different it clarifies definitions of sex trafficking and human trafficking. That's also where expunging of the records and that type of thing. I don't know a lot about 188 and 187, but I know 188 deals with crime procedure and change of name notice to give more notice to victims when, say, a sex offender wants to change his name.
Oh.
And then also SB 187 is harassment, sex offenders, and offenses, and they deal with those.
Wow.
So super important updates to the criminal statutes. I know that law enforcement and prosecutors are really excited about, and that we've needed for a super long time. So I really hope that those go through soon.
Yeah, and that's going to make a significant difference. And then that's also, I'm curious because if it's going to help expunge the records of those who are convicted of prostitution, that's going to help on the defense side as well.
Correct.
So the whole legal system is going to go through, an upgrade in a way, I would say.
Yes, I'm so excited about that.
Yeah. Holy crap, girl.
And I love it. I love it. I mean, Michelle Overstreet just gave me a platform to use my voice. As a survivor, your voice is taken away. You don't have one. But this is so exciting to have a voice of these important topics. And I'm just on fire. I'm just excited.
I know. That's what I was about to say. I'm like, this girl is on fire. I will not sing for you all.
Okay.
I seriously have to acknowledge you, Staci. Since starting in January, I have seen so much momentum build under you, and it is so exciting, and I'm so freaking proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And it's just, and I never get to see you. I want to get lunch sometime.
Let's do that.
As a recap for everybody, just so that we can see the scope of everything that you are doing right now. You're hitting the issue at all angles. So we have services and a safe house here physically at the My House facility. You are getting education into schools and our law enforcement, and on the legal side, for prosecutors as well as on the defense side, really. Yeah. We're raising public awareness through stickers, posters, the whole thing. that, creates public awareness, prevention, the whole thing. Development of a system for tracking the sources of illegal activity online, including trafficking, increasing the legal penalties for,
the
trafficking,
Johns, yeah.
the Johns, and protecting victims' rights, and providing a safe place and safe space for those who, don't know who to go to. They didn't even realize that maybe something was going, something wasn't quite right, for them to speak up when they're scared.
Right.
So I am speechless.
Me too.
I'm just so proud. I'm like, and you're a mom of 5.
Actually, mom is 6, but I have 5 at home. I have one getting to graduate high school next week, and then I have one who's getting married in June. And then, so there's a lot going on in the home, but I am just, that's the first thing I ever wanted to be, was a mom. And so I'm an overachiever. So, I have 6.
So who probably drinks a lot of coffee.
Yes, it takes a lot of coffee to get this mama rolling in the morning. But once I get rolling, I can't stop.
Yeah. So, and you've been on this journey for 5 years now?
Well,
when did you start?
I met Michelle Overstreet 5 years ago.
Okay.
And so we had the talk. I heard Michelle speak at a chamber event about what she does here. And I went up to her afterwards and I says, oh my goodness, I was homeless at 17. I was trafficked at 17. I said, this is my passion. And I said, if you ever get an open spot that I could help you, please just let me know. And she didn't forget me. She kept that in her mind. And she reached out about almost 2 years ago now. And she goes, were you serious? Because I just got funding for this position. And I didn't even think twice. I just jumped. And jumped right in, and I've been running ever since. And my heart's desire is just to make a difference. It's just to save that girl that was like me, crying, alone, scared, thinking there's no out, there's no one who cares, there's no resources, there's no services. I want them to know there's resources, there's services. You can get that record at Sponge. We can help you get some job training. We can help you get substance abuse help. We can help you with counseling. We can help you get your high school diploma. We can help you get your life back and move on.
And when you started 2 years ago, could you have ever foreseen what your role would look like today, and what the amount
No,
of impact that you have,
clue.
and how influential your voice is?
No, I had no clue. It's super, super humbling. And, since starting this journey, I'll be honest, I deal with that imposter syndrome quite a bit, where I don't feel worthy of this position, or I'm not educated enough for this position, or I sit with commissioners and speak with these people who have been doing this for decades, and who am I, But I talk to people, and they'll say, you paid your dues. You have the lived experience. You paid your dues. You are worthy of this position. You are worthy to have your voice heard and sit at the table. And so I think that's the biggest thing I've learned about myself, is not to give in to that imposter syndrome that a lot of us battle, especially when you're dealing with this types of positions and issues. So I just get up in the morning, I look myself in the mirror, and I say, you got this, girl. You are worthy.
Yeah.
You've paid your dues. And then I just fight those thoughts that, you're not going to make a difference. You're not educated. And I say, no, but I am going to make a difference. And I just have all these inspirational things on my bathroom mirror to get me rolling in the morning.
I do too. My own mini pep talk.
Yep.
You got this.
And I'm here for this morning on my second cup of coffee, so I'm doing good. So, yeah.
Yeah, you just show up and you speak up.
Yes.
So, well, and with your busy schedule, I mean, what do you do to keep yourself grounded, to, self-care, to play?
Yeah.
You were literally saying earlier, before we even started, that you don't have time to play.
Not lately. It's pretty packed, all the speaking engagements and meetings and stuff. But
Yeah.
I do unplug on weekends. That is my time with my kids. And so there's that work-life balance, and I mean, I could say this is super important work and I'm just going to give it 100%, but I'm telling you, you have to give time to your family. And so I do heavily focus on work-life balance. So on weekends, I just unplug and I'm either in my yard. I have a brand new house and I just hydro-seeded my yard last year. So this is my first year with my yard. So I've been fertilizing it. And
that's exciting.
I've been buying flowers and bricks to make my, flower gardens. So I really thrive just in dirt. I just love digging in the dirt.
Very grounding.
Yeah,
literally.
very grounding. So I'm getting some things up for kids to play, like our Batman set, our badminton sets and stuff, So we do s'mores like in the middle of the week, like at 11 o'clock. You want to do s'mores? I'm like, okay, sure, why not? So we focus a lot on just
family
time and trying to have a little fun and lightness, So it's super, super important for everybody out there. Find that self-care, whatever that is, and I am known. I love my bubble baths too. So yeah, I know how to self-care.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that I'm really struggling
right.
lately is the self-care. Because on my end, I can't wait to be on the other end here, probably in the near future, and give everybody an update on the clothing line.
It's coming.
I've been working my butt off, and a lot of, there's a lot of momentum building on my end, but I'm really struggling in that department, and I don't think I've gone for a walk or gotten any exercise in the last 2 weeks. So,
all right, well, we need to get Grammy because Grammy, she runs 6 miles before she even gets here to work. That's Patty. Patty, she works here, and she's actually Julia's grandmother.
Yes,
and she is awesome. She's 75 almost, and she runs 6 miles in the morning. She walks 2 miles during the day. I mean, she's a go-getter. So we need to really hang with Patty more.
Yeah, she's our model of health and wellness.
Yes,
so
for sure.
Need to hang out more with Grammy. So,
yes.
How can people get involved if they want to learn more or get involved in the fight?
Okay, so if you or your organization or your business you would just like some awareness and teaching them how to recognize signs and what to do if you see it, I have a training I do. It's called Human Trafficking Awareness 101, and it's a 1-hour training. And I would be more than happy to come. You can just call and ask for Staci here at my house.
Awesome.
Or you can also email me at notrafficking@myhousematsu.org, and you can schedule a training, and I would love to come do that. You can ask me for materials. If you want posters to put up in your restrooms of your businesses, or if you want some rack cards or some buttons. Oh, in January, we also have the National Human Trafficking Awareness Month, and we, as a group, a lot of businesses get some T-shirts that I make. It says "Stop Human Trafficking" on the front. And we bring awareness that day by wearing those T-shirts all over the valley.
So that'll be next year, next January.
That's in January, but you can join ASHTA now and start attending those meetings. It's easy. It's the third Tuesday of the month from 4 to 5 via Zoom. And I bring on speakers, and we have just different things that we talk about. So if you want to join ASHTA, you can also email me again at that same email address, which is notrafficking@myhousematsu.org. Or you can call my house at 373-HELP. That's 373-HELP.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Staci, my final question for you as the guest for this episode is, what does the word redemption mean to you? And the reason why I ask is because the word redemption means different things to different people.
Right.
So it is an extremely powerful word for us here. So what does redemption mean to you?
Well, first, there's my walk with God. That's always been important in my life. But my walk with myself, I have found that through this journey of even starting here at my house and working and having my voice heard, that I have redeemed myself. I have redeemed myself to be able to use my voice and be confident in using my voice. Redemption, it's just, it's a powerful word, finding yourself, your true self, and letting your light shine.
Beautiful. Thank you, Staci.
Thank you so much,
That
Julia.
was awesome.
Thank you.
Keep it up.
Will do, girl, and you too. We'll go have lunch.
Till next time.
Till next time.
If you or someone you know are a victim of sex trafficking, please call 1-866-733-7878 or text HELP to 233-733. For local services here at my house, you can call 373-HELP. That's 373-HELP. Remember, if you see something, say something. This is Redemption, loved and thriving. Until next time.